Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smoker's Bard and the Night Owl. A little bit late because usually, as you guys know, we are doing that from Sunday to Monday. So, if nothing goes wrong, I usually upload it like midnight Sunday. But something came between me and the night owl, so one day later. But here we are. We are smoking the Toscano Marzio, in this case the Corona Gordo or Corona Gorda. Beautiful cigar, but let me talk about that in a minute. As usually, my friends, let's get this thing started. That is really reminds me of the True Estate Kentucky Fire Cured, and they have a lot in common. I will tell you. Very sweet. And some roasted aromas. The smell, however, like I said, Kentucky Fire Cured, it has this smoky, peaty aroma smell that reminds you of like bacon or something like that. It's absolutely crazy. I love that. Alright, guys, let's go. So, why are we one day late? Guys, it would be a lie if I would say, like, I had so much to do, I had no time whatsoever. I had enough time. Just a couple of things to do, but really not that much. But the whole week was packed with shit. Sometimes it is like you're just sitting there doing your thing, and you're just not feeling that good. I mean, nothing like a cold or the flu or something like this. It's just like you just have the feeling that something is sitting on your shoulder, right? For really no reason at all. It just, and frankly, I have this from time to time, and then you have 1 or 2 weeks where it's just like no drive, sleeping long, staying up long, really not very active, other than the really absolute necessary things you need to do. And when you have no drive to do something, then you have no drive, right? And as I always said, is doing all that here is really a lot of fun, But when you're coming to a point where it's no fun, then you stop doing it. And I don't mean that, I don't want to say that now in general. It's just like, I was just not feeling so good, as I said, and I had no intention to making a lot of things in front of the camera, I was just sitting here smoking cigars, reading and just watching things on Netflix and stuff. But the good news is, I'm feeling better. So I spent the last couple of days together with my wife. For example, in the evening we were sitting on the couch, watching something together, just sitting there, smoking a cigar, watching movies, talking with my wife. And that's it, that's it. So I don't want to sound too depressed right now, because just make it clear, it's not a depression, far away from it. But you have, in German we call that depressive Phase, and that means like something like a depressive episode, like it's just a week or two where you are down. And as I said, it just happens, And the good thing is, when you know that, then you can mentally prepare yourself. Because then when you feel that you are like sliding into that, and you know that it's just an episode, you really have no problems with it, Otherwise, when you're not aware of what it is, or what the symptoms are, maybe you worry about shit that is not even necessary to worry about, But so, I'm living with that. It's just, I can feel that coming, And then I know, okay, here we go again. The next week will suck. And maybe the week after that will suck too. But then it's over. And that's always the way it is, It's just like you have not necessarily only have like the happy sides. You're not consist only of the happy things in life. There are also some things that are a little bit darker, but we all can live with that. And it's even better when you, at least for me, everybody can handle that in a different way. But I'm kind of open with it. I think in one of the last episodes we were talking about, it was a fun thing, where I was talking about that Canadian lady, where she was talking about things, what to do in Germany and what not, if you remember. And there was this one thing, like this phrase, how do you do, and you're not really expecting an answer. So if somebody asks me, how do you do, you can expect an answer, and I will give you the answer how I feel, So in the last in the last week, if somebody would have asked me, how do you do, I mean, man, not so good. Really, why? I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm not feeling good for no special reason. But I'm fine. I'm just not a very good discussion partner in that week, because usually then I'm kind of mute. I'm just not very talkative. But here we go. Guys, the Marzio, that's coming from Toscano, Italian cigar makers, and they are very popular for a brand that is called Toscanellos, that are very small cigars, and you don't even need to store them in the humidor, because they cure them in a special way. They are very hard, and they're also very intense in their aroma, and they're kind of rough. And now if you look at that cigar, look how rough it looks. Do you see that vein here? It's absolutely insane. And the whole cigar is really hard, but that's the way they're doing cigars. 47 ring gauge, 6 inches long. They're coming along with two sizes. This I've made notes. Is it Corona Gordo or Corona Gorda? Corona Gorda. Okay. And they have a special plant. This very dark wrapper here, that is an U.S. Kentucky dark fire cured wrapper. Here we go, fire cured, right? And there is the memory or the that's why I have to think of the Twisted Kentucky Fire Cured. And the binder is from Sumatra, also very dark tobacco leaf. And the filler is made out of 3 different tobaccos. Also the U.S. Kentucky Fire Cured. And then one tobacco is coming from Nicaragua and the other from the Dominican Republic. Let me see if I'm right. Alright. And the cigar is made by in the La Aurora Tabacalera in the Dominican Republic. And they're coming along with a very, they're very affordable. I think the Corona, I think even let me check my notes here, but I think there's no price difference between the Corona Gorda and the Robusto. They are both €5 and 30 cents. So that is like probably around $7. And that's a good cigar, really. But you have to like this fire cured, smoky, peaty kind of flavor, because it's like I said, it's a very intense cigar. So definitely nothing that you would like start with, because it will stay in your mouth. I was talking a little bit too much. No problem. So guys, as I said, wasn't really doing very much this week, but at least I was able to publish or to upload the 400 subscribers giveaway, which is still running until tomorrow. So if you want to have that Vega Fina Exclusivo Alemania, one day, you have 1 day left, right? Tomorrow is like the announcement. The factory sealed box is still waiting here for you guys. Picking it up. And all you have to do is like subscribe, like, and comment. That's easy. Okay guys, that was a very depressive start, right? So let's talk about a little bit more fun things. Or the happier things. I think last week or the week before, I was talking about 2 special cigars I got. I still had no chance to smoke them. Right now, I'm looking at my humidor and I can look at them because they're sitting in the top shelf on top of one of the boxes, waiting for me, or waiting to be smoked. And it will be smoked next week, the first one. Today a buddy of mine visited me, and we were talking about, how to put it, friendship. Not in general, but oh no, let me put it this way. We were talking about friends and friendship, and then we were coming to a topic that's more or less about promises, contracts, your word, like this. And before I continue, I need to drink a whiskey. As usual. And today, I brought you guys the Platnog. 10-year-old single malt scotch, and it's a lowland. We all know, the Speyside or Highland, that's the most popular whiskies in Scotland. The lowlands, they're kind of, they're in a niche, more or less. But from time to time, I really, really appreciate drinking a glass of a really good lowland whiskey. I had only one tumbler, one glass left in my cabinet over here, and that was, I think that was my Jack Daniel's tumbler. Lovely little glass. Cool. Cheers, my friends, to good health. Very mild, very sweet. The whiskey is aged in bourbon barrels, so there's a sweetness from the corn. No peatiness at all. So the peatiness and the smokiness that is coming from this cigar is like the perfect companion. Sometimes I like to pair things that are really alike, but then on the other hand, you sometimes have a whiskey and a cigar that's quite the opposite, So when you have a cigar that is very like intense, smoky, peaty, all like this, and then you have a very mild, soft whiskey that has no peatiness at all, there's like a spot open, right? And the peatiness from the cigar is filling that spot. So that's what I think. So back to the conversation I had. Here's the story. Imagine you're sitting together with a couple of people and you're doing some, let's say, business, right? And you agree on something. Like you say, I will do this, and your partner is saying, I'll do that. Do we need to sign a contract for that? My personal opinion is, I'm always saying, no, I don't need a contract, It's enough when we are shaking hands and you give me your word that you do that. That's fine. Because when I say something, when I say I will do something, I do it. If I cannot do it, for whatever reason, shit happens all the time, we know that. And then I'm just clear and open and say, okay, man, I promised to do that, I couldn't do it because this and that happened, and that's why I have to do it next week. Or I cannot do it at all because ABC, And I don't need no fucking contract for that, you know. You give me your word. And when you give me your word, it's like a contract. It's better than a contract for me. On the other hand, you have some sort of people that need a contract for like everything, you know. And I'm always saying, when it's coming to the bottom line, and you're at a point where you are arguing about this and that is written in a contract, it's over. Because we want to do something together, right? We want to achieve that goal. And we both, at least in my imagination, or what I think about it, is we both giving our best in order to reach that goal that we agreed on. You do your very best, I do my very best. If that thing is right now not your top priority, that's absolutely cool, but then we need to talk about it, you know? Then you say something like, man, I would love to do that with you, but I cannot do it right now because I have other priorities right now. No matter what priorities, you're setting your own priorities, right? Different people, different opinions, different priorities. But when we agreed on something, we were shaking hands. And you give me your word that you're doing it. And then you're not doing it. And you're not talking about it. And you will leave the impression that you are going to do it, but you had no plan on doing that. What does this make? Or put it the other way around. What are you when you behave like that? I have a specific word in my mind. I will not say it right now. I received a letter. I received a letter from a lawyer. And there, together with it, was coming a bill of like 700 and something euros. And I would say like in the last 1.5 years, I was late with nothing when it coming paying my bills. So that was kind of a surprise, you know, because I was reading that and there was just like the bill and saying, man, you have to pay 700 euros for this and that. And I was just looking at the first page and I had absolutely no clue. What is that? What are you talking about? And then I was reading like the second page, the third page, and then I realized, what is he talking about? What's the matter? Why do I have to pay something? Why do I have to pay 700 euros for something that I can't even remember what it was or what it is? So I was reading through the letter, and there were like 10 pages. And then I realized, there was this thing. I had an agreement like 3 years ago with somebody. Back then, 3 years ago, we were doing a lot of things together, and we agreed on something. Like, we want to start that business. In order to do that, we have to found, like, let's say a limited, right? And then when you found a limited, uh, you have a couple of things to do, right? You have to go, you have to register it, you have to do this and that, and all that is coming along with some costs, right? I mean, not an insane amount of money, but you have to pay a couple of bills. And back then, with that friend of mine, we agreed, not on a contract, but verbally, talking to each other, and we agreed on, like, I pay this, and you pay that, like 50-50 split. Okay. I paid my shit. But this dude, like, vanished, right? Don't want to go into any details, but he vanished. Gone. And of course, he didn't pay his shit. It was 3 years ago. And after that happened, I realized, okay, we will not do that. Okay, shit that we spent time and energy and this and that, but alright. Let it go. Let him go. And I didn't think about it, that there was still like an open bill that he didn't pay. So now is coming that letter from the lawyer. And then they're saying, okay, my client is this company. And they're still like, you have to pay something. And the original amount was like 300, and now it's 700 because it took them 3 years to find out that I was his business partner, and maybe I also have then the obligation to pay that. Also, he agreed to pay that. Legally, man, I don't know. I didn't give a fuck. I just paid the €700. I paid it and forget about it. But I was thinking about it. I was sitting here in my fucking brain, and there's like this little devil talking to me and saying, "Why the fuck didn't he do what he said he will do? He gave me his word, and he didn't do it." And I have my problems with understanding why. Money is not the problem. Also back then, for him. But he didn't pay it. Why? I know I will get no answer to that question. And that is fine. Because maybe the answer I would have get would not be something like that would make me happy, So it doesn't matter. And in one of the last episodes we were talking about triggers. Like things that are triggering you, where you're getting mad or upset or makes you sad or whatever, some specific thing that happens and it's doing something with you, and that's one of the points. We are grown up man. You give me your word, you do what you say. If you're not doing that, you're a fucking asshole. and I don't want to see you again, you know. And as I said, it's not about the money. It's not about um, the hassle that you have to do or the letter that is arriving. It's like the core principle of human relationships. You know, for me, someone else may maybe thinks otherwise about that. But like the same thing with everything, you know. We have this bakery around the corner, and sometimes maybe I'm doing a walk with my dogs or whatever, and then I'm going by and I think, oh man, I'm thirsty. So I'm going into that bakery and I'm getting a Coke. And then I realized, oh man, okay, that Coke is like €2. I left my money back at home. So I know the lady who owns the bakery and she works there, and I say, I'll pay you later. And just saying that, getting the Coke, and I said, I'm not even saying, I'm asking, can I give you the money later? Because I forgot my money back home. And of course she says like, Andy, no problem. And that's the also I'm not saying like I promise you I do this and that. That's my word. I'll pay you later. So I'm drinking my Coke. I'm going back home, bringing my dogs back home, getting my money, going to the bakery, and give the lady her €2 because I gave her my word. And of course, if you're an absolutely asshole, you are like, no, I didn't take that Coke. I'm not paying you €2. Do you have any proof? That is absolutely, I don't even understand how people can do it like this, you know. Um, and that's what I'm saying. It's like with everything in your life, you know. You're always giving your word to someone about something, you know. And sometimes it's even not like you're not even saying it. Like when I leave the house in the morning, my wife knows that I will come back. Maybe not the exact time, but it's like an invisible, it's like a mute promise, you know. I'm leaving the house and I'm coming back. That's my word. I'm not just staying somewhere, doing something, and just not coming home. If something happens, I will call my wife and say, "Hey, honey, I'm late, or I'm coming tomorrow, or whatever." You know. That's the agreement. You know. And then you have people that are violating this agreement. They're giving you your word, and they're not standing up for it. They're not doing what they say. All that, and that is something I'm not very good tolerating that. And you know what really makes me mad about that is that I'm thinking about that. I've spent like a day, maybe not a day like constantly, you know, thinking about it from 8 a.m. in the morning until midnight. But it's like it's I'm thinking about it, you know, and it makes me mad that I'm thinking about it because I would just say, okay, just pay the fucking bill, forget it. You know, it's not worth thinking about it. But I'm thinking about it. back to the cigar for a moment. As I saw the box and the cigar itself, it instantly reminded me of Camacho, because they were doing this big band in this bright red with dark letters, a little bit more basic than in comparison to the Camacho band, but it has the same. In Germany we say haptic. It has the same look and feel. You're looking at it, and I had to think about Camacho. And I had the same feeling with a couple of cigars lately, that they are like, let's say, adopting a successful marketing or successful brand, And I mean, that's okay up to a specific point. But I saw a couple of not talking about it. I mean, that's absolutely fine. I'm talking about different cigars right now. But then you're looking at a couple of cigars and you think, man, you're doing the exact same thing. You just make tiny changes here and there, but it still has the same look and feel. What the fuck do you do that? There's also here we go with the agreement, Do not copy, or you know what I'm talking about. That sucks. Jesus Christ, the whiskey's empty. And because I had this bad week, cheers, I missed a couple of really good reviews made by my friends. Wench, Hearts and Cigar, 505 Cigar Review Show, Phil, Comedy Cigars Music, Carlos, My First Cigar. They were all doing reviews, and I just watched one or two of them, and that sucks, But I was sitting here smoking a cigar, not feeling so good, and I had absolutely no drive watching YouTube videos. But I am back. And I think 1 or 2 weeks without me, you can survive that. But I'm happy that I'm here. Probably this week or next week, I have to make a little trip to Hamburg, Germany. Like in the very north of Germany. Here I'm sitting in Frankfurt. It's like more or less the center of Germany. We're just right in the middle. So that's a trip, let's say, maybe 4 hours by car, 4 or 5 hours like this. Because I have to buy something over there that I ordered. And I know there are a couple of pretty good shops. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if they're open right now due to the lockdown, Corona, and all that shit. But I will figure that out, and maybe I'll make a little road trip video. Don't know. We'll see. But at least I will take my camera with me, and let's see what we can do, I was talking to my wife about let's say, not holidays. What are we doing in the summer? Let's put it that way. So you guys know, usually making a trip to Ireland or Scotland or something like this. But like the borders are not closed. But now when you travel there, you have to stay like 14 days in quarantine and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. So what are we doing? No plans until now, because at least here in Europe, nobody knows what will be possible in a couple of months. We don't even know what's possible like next month, not talking about in summer, like in 2, 3, or 4 months. Nobody knows. I just know that I need to do something. Last year, like, I had no, I don't want to say, I don't want to say vacation. My wife has her well earned vacation, and my kids from school like this. I have no vacation because I'm not working really hard every day. So I cannot say it's like vacation. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Just getting out of Frankfurt, like spending 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks somewhere else, like recharging the batteries, everything like this. And I really feel it that I have done nothing like this last year. And that's something I'm really missing. So I'm really hard thinking about what to do this year. What is possible, what can you do, and how to make all that possible together with the whole family and the dogs and everything. I have no clue right now. I just know I have to come up with something. If you have any ideas, let me know. I had this one buddy in the lounge back then when the lounge was still open, and he was also smoking that Toscanellos from Toscano, the little cigars I was talking about. And they have like one line that is like pure tobacco, and they have 3 or 4 that are flavored. And he was always, that was a weird sound. he was always smoking that one flavored cigar, that one flavored Toscanello, and it was this coffee flavored. And I still remember that smell when I was coming into the lounge, and he was there earlier than me sometimes. And he was already smoking like 3 or 4 of the small, little Toscanellos, and like the whole lounge was smelling like, I mean, not exactly like coffee, but this tobacco like coffee flavor, that. And that was always so strange. But he was smoking these Toscanellos like nothing, 3 or 4 in a row. And I was always like, man, how can you smoke that all the... I mean, I'm not into flavored cigars, But even if you are into flavored cigars, man, don't smoke like 3 or 4 in a row. One is okay. But what the fuck is going on with you, man? Also the good thing, and that's part of the rappers responsible for that. We have a very, very heavy smoke output is great, and the smoke is very heavy and dense. I love that on a cigar. But I have to admit, with this one here, the burn is like let's say, far away from being perfect. But that's okay. Still, draw and everything else is okay. Just the burn is a little bit off boundaries, wanky, uneven. So guys, I would say I've spread enough bad mood for one night alone. I promise. Guys, the next one will be a little bit more fun again. But, you know, in the reviews, in the cigar talks I'm doing, I'm always trying to be straight and honest, you know. And, you know, the Night Owl is like a different format. We're talking about all sort of things, and I'm trying to be, like, honest, you know. And when I'm not feeling so good for whatever reason, or something happens that's not so cool, and I'm like in the mood talking about it, I'm talking about it, you know. But I think, or I hope, that you folks understanding what I'm talking about, right? And I'm pretty sure even you, from time to time, have like a week where you're not feeling so good for whatever reason. Where you're just down, where you're like have no drive, or you're not very active, whatever, you know. And I'm always saying it's important talking about that. Because when something is sitting on your shoulder, you know, and that's like pushing you down, it's always helpful talking about it. We as a society, community, as people should not like be ashamed of talking about. It's not even a weakness, but I mean, you cannot always be happy, and you cannot always talking about good things and fun things and the price side of life. You know, sometimes you have to talk about shit that happens to all of us from time to time. The important thing is that you know how to get out of it, that you know that you have good friends that can help you or that are supporting you. And sometimes it's even enough when somebody's telling you, "Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Everything's all right." And even if you don't have an answer, the the question alone, or the feeling that somebody is caring about you, for a lot of people that's enough, you know, or it's a good thing. And we all need good things in life. So guys, don't forget the giveaway. I mean, if you're watching too late, like in a week or two, it's over. But when you're like almost live or on time, the giveaway runs until Wednesday. You still have time to participate. Let's grow our little community over here. Love talking about cigars and all other sort of things, as you just figured out. Enjoy a good cigar, my friends. Enjoy life. Most importantly, stay safe and stay healthy. And I see you around at Smoker Spot. And the next time, we were talking about more fun things, I promise. Cheers.